First story. I think my wife of 9 years is a narcissist. Help. Have been together for a total of 14 years, married for 9. I am 34 years old. We have had ups and downs like any relationship, but lately it's been downs and downs. I had started to pursue a career as a firefighter 5 years into our relationship, and have been one for 5 years now. She works too, is successful in her job. No children. Here's the list of how I have been treated. Sorry for the length. Lacks respect, resulting in me lacking love. Unrealistic expectations due to a sense of perfectionism. Focused on my flaws over strengths. Prioritizes friendships and seeks their approval. Nitpicks. Comes home from work, and when I try to kiss and hug her, she pushes me away or says, "Leave me alone." Holds affection as ransom if she doesn't like something I say or do. "This is why I don't sleep with you." Constantly criticizes non-constructive on the basis of contempt. I clean the house every week and am told, "What do you need praise for? You wipe down the counters and clean poorly." Often refuses to do things with my family. Creates a problem while at the house if she does go, or uses quid pro quo so that she'll go. Her family events take priority. Hangs up if angered, yet gets mad if I am working and need to rush her off the phone. Sometimes humiliates me in front of family. Threatens to make day terrible if my behavior continues, behavior that she disapproves of. Insults, name calls whilst arguing. Zero praise, admiration or appreciation. Zero intimacy. Negative mindset about most things. Doesn't want children. Deems career more important. Often has said she doesn't see a future together. Has repeatedly mentioned divorce or separation. Barracks. Tries to control what I find humorous, or what I can and can't joke about, especially in the company of her co-workers or strangers at, say, a party. I am jovial and have good comedic timing. Refuses everyday idea for something that sounds more enjoyable than complains about me not planning dates. Slow to forgive, if at all. Quick to judge. Mentions even so and so agrees in order to validate a negative point about me during an argument. Uses my vulnerabilities as ammo in arguments. Seeks validation through long nice texts. Responds with thanks or love you. After expressing reasoning for limited empathy, and the coping that comes from my type of work, was told, verbatim, "This is why every firefighter gets divorced and blows their head off." Her love for me is conditional, mine was unconditional until now. I have grown and developed the appropriate qualities to be a leader, but due to who I was when we were younger, partied a lot, was immature, needed guidance and direction. We were 20, I am incapable of being seen as a leader at home. I am told that I'm acting tough or cool, when I am firm in my convictions, and am scoffed at as if I'm incapable of growth. I feel demoralized and empty. I dread her coming home because I don't know who I'm getting. But as of late it's been the bad version. We recently got into an argument over me and brother taking my mom to Mother's Day, and she felt she should have been invited since her mother lives out of town. It was a day for my mom and her 2 boys. No dad, no nieces and nephews, no grandparents. Just the 3 of us. And she made it about her. After that argument she repeatedly brought up separation because I am selfish. When I finally caved and confirmed her idea of divorce, and said we should do it, she backtracked on separation. But still brings up the Mother's Day thing, saying I still don't see how you don't see that you were wrong. I am at a point to where I think divorce is my only option. I feel as if I can't win. Update. I 34 meters think my wife 33F is cheating. Been together 14 years, married for 9. She lied to me about where she was going and who she was with one night. The next day told me the truth because she ran into our friends. She's lied about who she was talking on the phone with a few times. The reason I know she's lying is because I checked our mobile call text logs. In a 25-day span, 50% of her conversation calls and texts are with a man from work. 17 pictures sent. The man is also 50. Her excuse is that he's ugly and is almost old enough to be her dad. She's recently lost quite a bit of weight and has been feeling herself, and I'm sure other people compliment her often about it. Mind you, our sex life is non-existent. When confronted, she said she's trying to help him get promoted. She has little control over that. She said the pictures were memes. She's always deleted her texts unless it's somebody she texts often. No explanation as to why their text thread is deleted, even though he is obviously somebody she texts often. After the conversation, she said I was being crazy, had nothing to worry about, and owe her an apology for snooping. On top of that, she has relentlessly been pressing her case even after I said everything's okay, telling me I could have just brought it up to her instead of looking at the logs for 25 days, and that she would have been honest with me, and repeating I have nothing to worry about, even though I told her I believed her, although I'm not sure that I do. Am I crazy or am I being played for a fool? Update. Firstly, thank you all for the affirmation. My wife has continued to be disappointed in me for invading her privacy. She found out I shared my concerns with a close friend prior to confronting her. Now I'm considered a liar too for telling her I didn't discuss it with anyone. Although I did lie, I had no other options for a second opinion. She tricked him into admitting our discussion about the events taking place by saying I admitted to her that they occurred. I never did. She manipulated him into telling her and was adamant about me not saying anything to him about it, stating that she was nonchalant in her approach. He has been neutral when she speaks to him, but has also stated he agrees with my actions. She's now gaslighting him into thinking what he thinks is wrong. 3 days after the confrontation, she demands I'm removed from being an authorized user on my phone account in order to no longer spy on her because she doesn't trust me, with good reason. I checked the logs for 2 days after the confrontation, and she texted the dude about 30 more times and had several phone conversations, one of them being an hour long at 11 p.m., all while I'm at work. She is now on her own phone plan to ensure I can't see what she's doing. I'm being love-bombed like crazy now, but also being sarcastically accused of being nuts for my actions. How sweet she's trying to be is beyond me. I'm keeping strong though, knowing that it's all a facade to keep her seemingly perfect image afloat. Today I spoke with a lawyer. Our income is about even and our house is required to be split evenly, $2,500 for an amicable divorce. Alimony is probably a non-issue. Savings is required to be split as well. I'll be bringing it up this week. I'm in a no-fault state, so infidelity is irrelevant. Second story. My girlfriend of 2 years got pregnant by her coworker. Hey everyone, as the title says, my last couple of months have not been great. I had been dating my ex for 2 years while in grad school. We had discussed extensively what our plans were after I graduated and got a good job. We were going to move in together and she'd have a ring on her finger by this time next year. She did not know that part. We talked all the time about our future together and even discussed what we'd name our kids. A bit of background, I'm in nursing, so the vast majority of my friends' coworkers are women. My future best man will actually be a best woman. I understand the complications that can arise from my friendships with the females in my life, so I am adamant to talk about that early on in any relationship I start. I make it clear that they are my friends, have never been anything more than that, physically and emotionally, and never will. For the first 1.5 years, none of these friendships were seemingly a problem. Then around New Year's, my ex drunkenly brought up that she does not like 2 of my friends in particular because she believes I was sexual romantic with them before her and I started dating, which I never was. We talked about it the next day and I heard her out. She expressed concern because I speak so highly of them. I explained that friend A was the first friend I ever made in nursing school, about 2 hours away from my hometown. And friend B was the first friend I made on my first nursing job. Night shift in the ER forms strong bonds. At the time she seemed like she accepted those explanations and that was the end of it. Then it all blew up about 4 months ago. She apparently had been discussing this with her friend from high school who'd only met me twice, and they had come to the conclusion that I was lying and was obviously hiding something. At this point she had stated that she was having trouble trusting me. We decided to take a break, although it was understood we would be getting back together. Well, about 5 weeks later she tells me she's pregnant. Says she hooked up with him 2 times and the timing puts it happening about 1 week after we separated. My search for advice is this: am I being dramatic or do I have anxiety over this? I randomly get brief episodes of hot flashes, 10-15 seconds, usually shortly after waking up in the morning, and my mind races thinking about her, even if I wasn't beforehand. I understand the irony of a NP asking for medical advice to a bunch of non-medical people. Have any of you had similar symptoms? What did you do if you did? Thanks in advance. Sorry for the novel. Third story. GF 34 of 4 years caught cheating on me 37 with us having 2 children together. So 3 days ago, one of my best friends in the world informed me that my girlfriend was cheating on me. The way he knew is that she shares her location with him and his wife. We do not share locations with each other. BC. I find that incredibly intrusive, and am very much against sharing that info with anyone, just simply based off my feelings of personal freedom and trust. I feel that if people dating have to constantly check on their significant other's GPS locations in order to feel secure, you have bigger issues. Now, with that being said, my girl and I have had a tumultuous relationship. We fundamentally disagree on personal space. I work as a bartender and usually work nights, which means I'm off work between 12 and 2 a.m. She works days from 6 to 2 p.m. On days when I am off, I either go out of my way to spend time with her, or give her freedom to spend time with her friends and relax child-free if that's what she wants. On the other hand, anytime I am off she will not allow me to see my friends, or if she does she will harass and hound me until I get tired of the nagging and come home. So as a result of this lack of freedom, once or twice a week I will go out for drinks to unwind after a shift with my coworkers. I am still coming home to her. I am still waking up with my children in the mornings and handling my duties as a father, and I am still faithful to her. A couple months ago, she issued me an ultimatum saying that if my entire life does not consist of me waking up at 7ish with my children, going to work and immediately coming home, that she would leave me. I told her it was insane for her to ask that of me, considering any time she has off and wants to go out with her friends. I never say no. I believe in order to have a strong relationship both partners need to have independence. Apparently she believes only she should have it. Fast forward to 3 days ago. My best friend tells me my GF panicked and called him 32 times making sure he did not share her location with me. This was around 2 p.m. on a day we both had off, and I allowed her to go to the beach to get a tan. Long story short, she went and fucked someone that I don't know, and blamed it on me. BC. I didn't listen to her about not going home immediately after work 5 days a week. She has shown no remorse or shame for her actions, and now, I sit here in a house I mostly pay for with 2 beautiful young kids and a woman who cheated on me and asked my best friend to cover it up for her. WTF do I do? Fourth story. My wife said she loves me and her ex-boyfriend. To give context, I am 30 years old and have been married for 2 years to my wife Jane, the love of my life. I am a pediatrician and earn a good salary, so my wife doesn't have to work. She and I have always been very close. We met through a mutual friend. It was quick, but even so, there was a very strong connection. I have always been somewhat shy and reserved, while she, on the other hand, is very sociable and likes to party. I have never had a problem with this since we have always had a very good relationship based on trust. A couple of months ago, I came home late at night after a long day at work. I was heading towards the bedroom when I saw Jane sitting on the bed, looking at her cell phone and laughing. I approached her, and she quickly turned off her phone, using the excuse that she was just talking to her sister. I believed her since I had a lot of trust in her. While we continued our conversation, she brought up the topic of Scott, her ex-boyfriend. I didn't have a problem with him since they had remained friends, and I liked him. She told me he was in town and that they were going to meet up the next day. I trusted her and didn't see it as something bad, so we left it at that. The next day, when I came back from work, also late, I entered my house and saw them sitting on the couch, chatting cheerfully. I couldn't help but feel a bit annoyed, but I tried to ignore it. I approached them and noticed how Scott got a bit nervous, and my wife reassured him. She told me she had invited him over to show him the house, and I didn't think much of it. We chatted, the three of us, and everything seemed normal, or so I thought. Things changed a week later. My wife told me that Scott would be staying for an entire month for work since he lived about 3 hours away from our city. While I was at my office, I received several messages from my younger sister, who is a 21-year-old girl close to my wife. She told me she had seen Jane and Scott at some kind of party together, kissing. She then sent me a photo taken from a distance where you could indeed see them kissing. I couldn't believe it. I was at work and wanted to die. I never would have imagined that my wife, whom I love so much, was with that man. I felt devastated. After finishing my workday, I returned home as usual, feeling sad. I entered and saw my wife. She greeted me with a smile as she usually did. I sat down next to her and told her what I had found out. At first, she denied it, but then with a sad look, she admitted it. She confessed that she still had feelings for her ex-partner, but that she also loved me very much. She said her heart was torn between Scott and me. She didn't want to leave the life we had built, but at the same time wanted to be with Scott. I felt terribly bad. I don't have the words to describe how I felt when she told me that. The woman I thought I would grow old with and loved me as much as I loved her was also in love with her ex. After that, without any shame, she suggested opening our marriage. I love her with all my soul, and it hurt me a lot that she said that. After arguing for a few minutes, I told her I needed time to clear my thoughts. She, with a sad look, told me to take all the time I needed but that she would wait for me. She then took her things and left. I cried for several hours. I had never felt so sad in my life. Jane, the woman of my life, loved another man. A month has passed since she left. I am not good at expressing myself with people and find it easier to write what I feel. I thought about posting my feelings here on Reddit to get various opinions since I still love Jane, and what I want most is to have her back. But it still hurts me a lot that she wants to open our relationship. I don't know what to do or who to turn to. I went to therapy, but I can't find any comfort or solution. Please tell me what to do. I don't know if I was expressive enough in this text, but I still want some advice from any of you. I will give updates